This is my Ninjago City layout. Everything is situated on a Linman's table from IKEA. The city itself expands 4 base plates width and 2.5 base plates in depth. And from the front, you're looking at gardens on the left, markets in the center, and city on the right. And to fill in that space above the markets, since it sits a little bit lower than the others, is the Destiny's Bounty. Looking at it from the back, you see the docks on the left, the Temple of Airjitzu on the right, Destiny's Bounty in the middle. However, I'm going to be removing Destiny's Bounty and replacing it with the Dragonstone Shrine from Dragon's Rising. With the removal of Destiny's Bounty, it reveals my modification work with the expansion of docks in the back of markets there. And I'll get more into my mod with the Temple of Airjitzu in just a moment. But I'm thinking about placing the Dragonstone Shrine somewhere right there. Maybe like angle it and then add water around the stone statue. This water, 1500 1x2 trans tiles. Also, a lot of black plates and a couple base plates so that I can finally cover up all of the white space on this table. So why am I adding this shrine to a city that's filled with buildings and skyscrapers? Well, it's the same reason that I've added the Temple of Airjitzu, to give it an old world balance. Where gardens transitions to the temple, this is a place for meditation, for Zen. This is the old world part of the city back here. Before I add and incorporate the Dragonstone Shrine, I'm going to finish up the custom work that I left off with in the last video. The original set only had 2 sides complete for the temple. Well, I've combined 2 of these sets to make it complete 360 degrees, make it look good from all angles. Also created this custom base. Everything's complete on this side. This other side I have to continue with the rock work and finish the tiling for the water. But basically, this is the base where you set the temple up on top. The temple will rest on tiling work, with the exception of 2 jumper plates on the corners. I've started doing the tiling for the waterway going through the tunnel. It's so satisfying putting down these 1x2s. And I've got a lot of dark gray pieces ready for some rock work. Here's a demonstration of what I mean by satisfying. Somebody suggested in the last update video that I add a skeleton to the cave. Well, there we go. There's the remains of Master Chen beached in the tunnel. Ooh, that took a minute, but I'm finally done with the modification of this temple, the Temple of Airjitzu. So in the front, I've got the 2 mirrored stone staircases leading up to the 2 front doors. Similarly, in the back, I've got 2 stone staircases leading up to the 2 back doors. I really enjoyed doing all of the rock work, especially hanging things off the cliff precariously, like the patio of the temple, just because the rock eroded after many, many years. This was sitting on solid rock at one time, but not anymore. Water just keeps flowing through, eating away at these rocks. Even the staircases up here are in a little bit of disrepair, but still manageable to get up there. And here's a look at the other side. Here it is. The temple is back into its place next to Zane's Memorial and gardens. I really like this view. I like how I've got the water all the way from one corner to the other. Things just flow well. And the temple next to Zane's Memorial, I think, makes sense I've got all of the stone walkways lined up, the water lined up. Yeah, I'm super happy with this. And here's one more look through the tunnel. And look at this. The boat fits. Even on this side, I think it blends in really well. I did add similar features, such as a lily pad, and replicated that stone statue that's on Zane's memorial. And to take the integration one step further, I added some of the same vegetation that is used in Zane's memorial that is somehow growing in between cracks in the rockwork. Oops, I just noticed this guy getting tripped up in the doorway of the ramen noodle restaurant. There we go. He's okay. So here's my plan of how I'm going to integrate the shrine into my layout. I'm going to have a continuation of rock, beach, and water flowing from the temple and around the shrine base. There's still going to be enough water width for boats to pass around the shrine and into this larger body of water that probably flows out to the ocean. So right here, I'm going to make it really earthy and then surround it with the 1x2 tiles. Now, obviously, this is the better side of it. I think I like this angle right there because you can really see the dragon's face and the waterfall. If you had it this way, well, it doesn't look as good, right? You can't really see the dragon that well, and you see cutouts into this tree where the shrine is. But you see where these stepping stones are? I am going to continue those stepping stones across the water in the back. I found these olive green wedge plates at the Lego store Pick-a-Brick wall, which are going to be super useful because those same olive green wedge plates are used in the Dragonstone Shrine set, and that will help me incorporate this into my layout by using some of the same elements and making it all blend in. Something interesting happened when I was at the Lego store Pick-a-Brick wall this past week. I wasn't the only one picking bricks. Next to me was TD Bricks. Of all people, to see him in the Lego store was a surprise. And I had a lot of fun chatting with him and even helping fill some boxes for him. Here's the work I've completed so far. Over here, I have a layer of black plates underneath the 1x2 trans tiles to represent deeper water. I've got this rock work curving around and ending at the beach area. The beach is partially covered with some water, some waves. This little stream of water goes around this rock work and will flow into the lagoon. So where the stone shrine, the Dragonstone Shrine sits, there'll be a lagoon, some mossy, grassy area, but most of it's going to be covered in shallow water. I'm also laying out my stepping stone work over there. And I've also added vegetation, similar vegetation that you would see in other parts of the city. All right, the plate work is all done. Now, when I put the Dragonstone Shrine back into this layout, I don't plan on attaching it to any studs, being that it's at this weird angle, but rather having these slopes help me position it. Also, these tree roots sticking out of the ground will help secure it where it's not moving around. And those tree roots will make more sense once I add the set in. Now let's get this tiled up. The tiling work is complete. I've got a couple of sharks swimming in the deeper waters. I added a lot more vegetation to the lagoon. I did save on some tiling because what's the point of tiling that when it's going to be covered up? And over here we've got Kai stepping on the stepping stones. One stepping stone is submerged in the water, but no problem for a ninja to get across. And here it is with the Dragonstone Shrine added in all of its glory. Well, maybe I'm being a little bit too dramatic, but I think it does blend in really well with all of the landscaping that I've done from the temple onward, all of the water blending in from docks, markets, and even city all the way back there. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Also, I added some flowers that fell from the cherry blossom tree. Thought that added a nice touch. The water from the dragon's mouth drips down into the koi pond and then trickles down into the lagoon where it's all mossy and swampy. And now you can see the tree roots actually make sense with the set in place now. Here's a look at it from the backside, and I think it looks good from this side too. There's still enough room on the backside for that guy to get through with his boat. Our fisherman here can now boat all the way through the tunnel under the temple, behind the Dragonstone Shrine, past the docks, through the narrow passageways of the city, and underneath the bridge. Well, that does it for this update to my Ninjago City. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. I love the end result. And I can no longer see my tabletop. And that was my goal, to fill this table up. So I'm super happy with that. Leave me a comment if you have any ideas what I should do for the next expansion. Obviously, I'll need to add another table. I will probably wait for the next modular to come out to determine what direction I need to go. If it's going to be a corner, a straight, how big it's going to be. But I was thinking I'd really like to add some small houses, kind of like this one over here. I think that would look nice, kind of transition into a little village. Anyway, let's give Master Wu a little bit of peace and quiet as he meditates on top of the Dragonstone Shrine.